I'd like to call this meeting to order. Let's see, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance from our students' representatives.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic that stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. So we're excited to have our 195 students here tonight to do, are we doing what's the word I'm looking for?
Demo?
Demo, yeah. Do we get the
An
hydraulic
exhibition?
arm fixed and everything else, or, that's great.
So I could go ahead if you like.
Go ahead, that'd be great to see.
So, first of all, welcome. It's nice to see you all again. I think last time I saw you were on a bus about to head down south. I can say this year I've kind of turned into a little bit of a robotics groupie myself. I mean, not nearly to the extent of some of these parents who put in very long days and the mentors and advisors. But it was fascinating this year to watch this team. I had a conversation, I was thinking with Diana, we were talking about kind of I think a lot of people know about robotics in terms of you guys have a great reputation in the community, but I don't think people know about you in terms of the dominant force that you are. And I'll give you an example of that. People in Southington know a lot about girls softball, they know a lot about the football program, they know a lot about the baseball program, because they don't go to the robotics matches as often, right? But if you go to the robotics match, you guys are kind of a big deal. Like other teams, I learned there's this whole alliance thing. They all want you with their, within their alliances, what you do for other programs and how you get them started and you support and you assist, even though they are the competition. You bring them into the fold so they can have the same opportunities and exposure that you all have. What you do for volunteer service in our community, what you do for our young students. You just are really everything that a program should be, and it's something you should be very proud of. To the community network that supports this group, it's amazing to see. I mean, it's a well-oiled machine, but you all put in a lot of time and effort. I'm even thinking right back to the room, to the game board that was made. It's a total community and team effort. So it was great watching you all compete this year. I look forward to watching you compete again next year, those of you who will be back. And this evening, we had talked about it. I understand the arm had a little bit of a little quandary down in Houston. Is the arm ready to go? Okay, so what we have for you this evening, essentially you have the Team 195 robot, you have some of the game pieces, and is there somebody that wants to come up and talk a little bit about your robot and what makes it special before we start? I'm going to put you on the spot. I know who the driver is, so I could do that. No pressure.
Yeah, I can explain some things about the
Do me a favor, go right into the microphone so the public can hear you too.
So starting with our drive base, we have swerve drive, which means that the wheels can move 360 degrees and also rotate at the same time. This is really efficient for us, and these are the fastest modules that are available. And then moving to our arm, it's a double jointed 3-stage arm, which means that it can move both ways and it's bidirectional, which really helps us with the game pieces. And we redesigned our arm in the middle of the season to make it lighter, so our center of gravity was lower. Our arm can also extend outwards, additionally to the bidirectional movement. And along with this, we have an intake with compliant wheels on the end of it that spin and intake and outtake the game pieces. And it's also on a wrist, which means that it can change the direction of the game pieces.
So as Kaylin was just describing, she kind of really went in depth in a lot of the mechanical aspects of it. So just kind of a background of how our season and our team functions. Our season typically officially starts in the first weekend of January. And we have 6 weeks, very short weeks, to design, manufacture, assemble, wire, program, and test not one but 2 robots. So the one you're seeing here is our competition robot. This was the one that we bring to competitions and actually compete with. So as you can see, as Kaylin was describing, there is a bidirectional arm. It can move in both directions, as well as pick up and score game pieces. So the way that this year's game works is, as you can see, there's inflatable cubes and cones, and you would have to pick up these game pieces and then score them in on like what are called nodes, which are various positions at various heights. And the higher you were able to score these game pieces, the more points you'd get. And at the end of the match, you would have to try and balance your robot on a seesaw-like structure. And the more robots you were able to balance on this structure, the more points you'd earn. So the goal of the match this year was basically just to earn as many points as you can with your team members. And in doing so, you would advance in rankings. So we have a few different sub-teams. They consist of the manufacturing team, the design team, the electrical team, programming team, media team, impact team, and our scouting team. So there's a lot of them. They all have very specific roles. Students on the team are encouraged to join multiple sub-teams depending on what they're interested in, and they'll learn a lot of skills that are very relevant to the career or college major they're really looking to get into. They'll learn a lot of skills that will prepare them not only for college but beyond. They're going to go in with more skills than some people already have in those industries. So it's really impressive.
So for the control of the arm, we have many preset positions for the arm to go to, which are all labeled by different positions. So the driver only has to press one button to go to any of the states, like you can see here. And we also, using our state machine, we can go in between different states to avoid collisions within the robot so that we don't extend into our robot or also into the elements of the game field. We also have a simulation of the robot, which we develop using software from one of our sponsors, Foxglove. And that allows us to test all these positions before running them on the actual robot and before the robot was even built. As well as we can test our autonomous, which Belinda will talk about a little more.
Okay, so for the first 15 seconds of the game, like Alyssa had explained, it's the autonomous mode. So this year we created something called a path planner, which is basically a platform where we can plot points to create trajectories that our robot will follow using sensors.
If you guys have any questions, we can answer now.
Oh, rub it in. Rub it as salt in the wound.
So, it's a little bit of a sore subject, but basically, there is something called an encoder on the lower part of this main mass system, and the encoder basically detects how much a shaft rotates, kind of helps detect where in space the actual feature is. So the mount that the encoder was attached to actually came off, so it was unable to understand where it was in space. It didn't think it reached the position it needed to be at, so it kept moving, trying to reach the position, but it wasn't recognizing that it wasn't there, so it just kind of went into the ground. Yes?
I really do have a question.
Yes.
You all work together, you know, in different ideas, or who comes up with the main idea? How does that work?
So it's a very big collaborative effort. Within those first 2 days of the game being released, we put in like full days of work where we brainstorm how we want to play the game, what do we want to be able to do, and how do we want to be able to do that. So we brainstormed a lot of ideas. We decided, here's how we want to do our intake, here's how we want to pick up game pieces, and here's where we want to be able to go. And our design team actually takes that. Our design team will take that and it will actually design every feature of the robot in a computer-aided design software. So they'll do 3D models online of our entire robot and every part. Then they'll create blueprints for every single part that needs to be manufactured, and they'll hand that off to the manufacturing team where they'll learn about different methods of manufacturing, and they'll make all of the parts for it and then help assemble the robot. And then it goes to our electrical team, who learns how to wire the whole thing and works a lot with pneumatics and how to actuate all of our different systems. And then we'll get handed off to programming, where they use a few different languages of programming to accomplish what we want to do.
A lot of trial and error?
Yes.
Great job.
Thank you.
So impressive.
So although robots are like our specialty, our team also takes a lot of pride in the community efforts that we have. So we really take pride in our impact, and we try to spread our impact around the world and not just within our community. So we're going to give a quick presentation about some of the different initiatives that we have in place. So, yeah.
Just speak into the microphones.
Leave it better than you found it. We're told by our parents and our mentors everywhere we go, and so that's our philosophy. To leave the world better than when we found it. To create a future that we are proud to say that we contributed to. Our impact starts within our team, but branches far beyond into our schools, our town, our state, and beyond.
9 Cyberknights are here to pretend to you today.
8 Cyberknights learn to produce professional level media.
10 Cyberknights learn to use CNC machine equipment, additive manufacturing, and more.
11 Cyberknights learn CAD.
18 Cyberknights learn to code.
23 Cyberknights mentor youth in our STEM programs.
But all 47 Cyberknights make an impact on our world.
We mentor 7 FLL teams, 4 of which we started at our local elementary and middle schools, as well as our local Lego shop. We have also been recently working with Mr. Medancy to create more FLL teams into our school system.
In an effort to bring FTC to our town, we hosted a qualifying competition at DePaulo. A total of 25 students volunteered, filling roles such as field setup, takedown, running concessions, and even refereeing and managing event photography.
Our team fosters a spirit for volunteerism, which shows through our alumni and our mentors who join us in taking initiative. In fact, 4 of our mentors are Volunteer of the Year award recipients, and 41% of our mentors are first alumni.
Our team has volunteered at the Waterbury and Hartford events for the past 2 years now. Students have filled roles such as field takedown, field setup, field reset, and also queuing and even photography. We are extremely fortunate to have such a great media and marketing team.
This team of students has been instrumental in supporting the marketing of New England First as a whole for years. We've managed event photography and social media for 10 New England First events, including virtual award ceremonies during COVID and event recaps at district events and our New England Championship.
This year at the Waterbury event, I was the official event photographer, which is something I've collaborated on with my lead mentor in the past. However, this year, he was out of town and I was tasked with this job on my own. Originally, this seemed very daunting considering it was a large task for one person, but as the day went on, I realized how truly prepared I was.
Each year, we build a full-scale practice field in our sponsor-donated facility, where we invite other FRC teams. This year, around 12 teams joined us in our facility, in which we shared ideas and also drive together. We also assist teams by publishing our scouting data throughout the season and even help make custom manufacturing parts for teams all around the state, such as South Windsor.
Over the summer, we collaborated with a local summer camp to implement STEM and robotics into their programs. Cyberknights volunteered to run 6-hour-long sessions from July to August. We taught campers the basics in programming and how to use motors within Legos. As the program went on, we created more advanced activities for them, and they even got to participate in mini competitions.
Each year since 2018, we have held an event called STEM for All. This is an all-day event filled with free, fun STEM activities for people of all ages. This year, we had over 400 people attend this event and participate in stations such as Fun with Liquid Nitrogen, Electronic Take-Apart, and Bristlebot Racing.
We work closely with our immediate community in order to make our town a better place. Each year, we hold multiple toy, food, and clothing drives for multiple local organizations.
Additionally, we participate in the Apple Harvest Festival Parade each year, where 25,000 people get to see our award-winning float that uses old robots to throw game pieces into the crowd.
In addition, our relationship with our school blazes a trail for STEM to be celebrated and appreciated. Our team members are able to receive varsity letters at the end of every year.
This year, we teamed up with a nonpartisan nonprofit called Rock the Vote in order to increase voter turnout and raise awareness about the voting in younger demographics. We ran an information table in our school cafeteria for around 32 lunch waves in which we taught students about the importance of voting and also how to when and how to register to vote. We even have a special tab on our website for students to register to vote. We also have gotten state representatives and town registrars involved that have committed to speaking to our school to help for our cause.
We visit senior citizens at a memory care unit at a local nursing home to build Legos with them, as it has been proven to slow the development of neurocognitive disorders and strengthen fine motor skills. We also hold senior tech classes to answer questions and teach them how to stay safe online.
Along with all of this, our team is committed to the impact that we make globally.
To support the victims of the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, we sent over 250 pounds of supplies and personal care products to the Ukraine Home of Hartford, and we also donated over $900. We also donated over $500 and 30 pounds of supplies to the earthquake victims in Turkey and Syria.
Since 2018, we've supported